Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make this beautiful leather bracelet, this anchor bracelet. Let's get this in focus here. There we go. And so it's basically 2 strands of flat 5mm leather. So let me just double check the width on this. I've made a few of these, but it's been a while. But I think I'm gonna be making a bunch of these for a craft show. So these are 5mm wide. I think it's 2mm thick. Yeah, 2mm thick. I got this leather at Xsotica Leather. They actually, you can check one of my videos on leather unboxing from Xsotica. They have a bunch of different colors, so I'll be making some different colors too and show you those, because I have like red and blue and stuff. It'll look amazing, but for now this has kind of been my favorite go-to color. I think it's distressed brown or antiqued brown. Yeah, the stuff's lovely and it just works really well with this style of bracelet. So how this works is you take the one side off and then pull the rest out and it opens up. You put it on your wrist and then you put it back on, and it does look a bit difficult to put on, but actually this one's my size, which is super tiny. Like, you can see how tiny this is, my wrist, and I can put this on by myself. So this was the first bracelet that I made, and let me just show you a few things. I did buy these slider beads on AliExpress, and I didn't realize they were as poor quality as they are, because look at, now I haven't worn this in a long time. I've maybe worn this maybe 2 weeks at the most, like off and on, and you can see the whatever metallic shiny finish was on these slider beads is already coming off on both sides. So I definitely wouldn't use these slider beads to give to somebody or to sell, for sure. I wouldn't use that. And you can also see I didn't kind of finish this up. Just get the camera from shaking here. You know, I left this open and stuff. So I'll show you how to finish this really nice. And I did manage to find some slider beads that are the proper size for these, which was something of a problem, because basically you need, if these are 5mm wide, you need a bead hole that's 10mm, and that's going to be about 4 to 5mm thick, so that you can get these back in. So you fold it over this part here, tuck it in to here, and glue it, and there you have it. This is not going anywhere. Both ends are done the same way. So let's get started, and we'll come back to that. I have my mandrel out, because I will say, now these anchors are gorgeous. I got a set of these. My secret stash on this, I got these, initially I got these anchors from AliExpress, and I think they averaged about $2 to $3 each anchor. They're stainless steel. They hold up really well. They are what they say they are. And they're a bit angled, so they kind of fit on the curve of your wrist. I did find them at Beebeecraft, and they were selling a set for, I can't remember. I'll try and find the video unboxing for this, and I'll put it in the description, so you can click the link. I'll also put the description for the Xsotica Leather link as well, because it's spelt Xsotica, Xsotica. Yeah, so there's no E in it. And you know what? When you go to type it in, your autocorrect is going to put an E in there, and you'll never find the site. So that was kind of a as far as I'm concerned, that was a business goof up on their part, because you want people to find your site. But anyway, I'll give you the link. So let's, I can't remember how much it was, but it was to the point I ordered like 2 sets of these anchors. So I have something like 30 anchors to make a whole bunch for a craft show. But speaking of the anchor, because it's rigid, even though there's a bit of a curve here, you do have to pay attention when you're putting this on a wrist, because you have to go from here to here, but also kind of incorporate this too, because this is not going to bend that much. This is great, it bends, but you kind of, you want to make sure you add extra space. Normally I add 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch extra for bracelets. So if somebody tells me they're 7.5 inches around, I always add that extra 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch on just say regular beads or regular leather bracelets. But for this one, I make sure I add at least 1/2, if not 3/4, because this portion here will dig into your skin and it will be awkward on your skin, and you don't want that. You want, so you can see on mine, there's like, just setting it in place, there's some space to kind of maneuver and stuff. So the other part to that is when you're getting your leather pieces in position, you have to remember to check your mandrel, because measuring using a ruler, a flat ruler, will not give you an accurate measurement. And, you know, I explain that in great detail in my beading videos. Because of the size of the bead, it will shorten the inside circle of your bracelet. So let's go to, this is probably a 6. So you can see the difference in my wrist. So that's that. Once it's on, it'll be exactly a 6. So my wrist is about 5 3/4. So that's 1/4 of an inch. I could probably use another 1/4 of an inch for mine. It's snug. So let's, having that in mind, these are only like about between $20 and $40. The price has gone up. I've had this for like 5 years or something, and I searched and searched to get a $20 one, but they're so valuable, especially if you're doing leather stuff, because your leather bracelets are a little bit bulkier. You want to make sure it fits the person. And you can also use this for bending stuff on it, like leather, like a thick leather, you want to bend it into shape. So let's get started. We are going to cut. So I've done all the measurements. I'm making this for Ben, one of the student massage therapists that we see at this school, and we figured he has around a 7 inch. If it's not correct, I can always make a new one and pass this one on to somebody else. So I'm going to take my leather. Let's tilt this. So put it on my ruler. So I have a metallic ruler, which is great for this. You can cut it right on to your ruler. So what I've done for a 7 inch bracelet, I've estimated after doing a few of these that you're going to need about 10 inches for each strand. It's probably more like 9 to 9.5 inches, but I like to leave a little extra. The leather's not super expensive, so now I sometimes cut my leather with one of these flush cutters. Let me just grab it here and try and make sure you get it straight on. I guess you could cut it on an angle, because we're going to eventually skive a bit out so that we can glue it. So there's the first one, that's 10. Now for the second one, I'll show you the other tool that I use for cutting leather like this. Now you want to pay attention. You see how this has a curve and a curve here? You might use a different piece of leather, but I think once we have this on the bracelet, it'll be fine. So let's go ahead. Here's 10. So I just use my skiving tool, and because this is metal, now you probably shouldn't use your good sharpened tools on metal, but don't tell the leather police. So I think I need to sharpen this anyway. And I got these on AliExpress. It came with a flat one and one of these rounded ones, and it came in a canvas case as well. Now, of course, I never use the case. I just put it in my bin. So now we have our two pieces. You will need, I've got my spreader for my glue, and this is some leather craft cement. And you know what? This stuff is white. It looks like craft glue that you get, you know, in school and stuff. But I'll tell you, I was going to go on the cheap after I got this and just get the cheap glue. This is totally different. It's amazing. And you know what, you're doing something like this, you want it to stay there. You don't want it to maybe get wet from your sweat on your hands, or if you're washing your hands and you forget to take your bracelet off. So you don't want it coming apart. So just get that ready for those pieces. And here's my two sliders. So these slider beads I got from Emblask store. I have bought a ton of really nice stainless steel findings from them, as well as like different, I'm just seeing if I have anything on my desk. I do. I got this piece from Emblask. Their prices are the best that I found, and they have incredible designs. So I'll put the link for them as well. So you need two of those. Now let's start with the this part of the anchor. So I'm gonna go through here. You can do them both at the same time or separately. About that much. I'm gonna fold it here like this. So I'm pinching these ends. Get an idea. Okay, let's make sure they're both the same length. Just this way there'll be less cutting and waste. Okay, so something like that. Now, it's up to you how close you want to put your spacer beads to the anchor and to the ends. So for this one, I put this really close. I can get it out, but you see one's longer than the other. So I can get it out, but it takes a little bit of maneuvering. So in other bracelets that I made, I brought this down further. So for this one, you don't have to worry how close it is to it, but I will tell you, aesthetically, I kind of like to have these spacers almost at the same distance away from the anchor. So you might want to place them here and here, but then when you get down there, it's no longer at the front of your wrist. So it doesn't really matter. So that's a choice you'll have to make. So let me just get these matched up. Yeah, that one's. So that looks like that. We can clamp that if you want. I think once you pinch it, it's fine. So let me take these out for now and repinch them. Get a nice fold on them. And I'll double check this one next to the other. Like that. Bring it up there. Pinch that one too. And you can use a tool to pinch this. This part's not as essential, but There. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skive off a little bit here so I can feed them through the, let me just show you, take it on the other side, take your slider bead, and go through. So you can see how snug it is. Now you can put it through side by side, or you can just put one on top of the other until you get to the other end. And then, like, you see how it just got one on top of the other. And then when we get to here, then you're gonna to about there just before your, so now you want to slide them side by side for sure and push them to the top of the bead like that. Hold it there. But before we do that, so let's slide this back, we're going to scuff up this leather on this side, and I have a tool for that too. I got this on Amazon. So let's put this here. And if you're not sure where to scuff it up, just take your piece of leather and fold it. And so now you know you just want to go about here and just enough that it's going to hide under this bead. So probably the length of this tool. So you can go side to side or back and forth. Just be careful not to damage the finished edges on your leather. You don't have to do a lot of this. I don't even think I've done that much on other bracelets. So then go to this one and do the same thing. We can ignore that. So right about there. And you can scuff up the ends of these too. Like that. And that will just make it allow the leather more texture to grab onto and permeate. That. I'm going to take, I've got a toothpick to apply my glue. So now let's get these on. Oh, we're gonna make a little cut in this. So let's take our leather and your tool. Put your tool on an angle like this and just take a little cut, which it pretty much took off the scuffing that we did, but that's fine because now it's like fibrous. My tool definitely needs to be sharpened here. It's not doing its job. You can slim it up even more. I think that's probably gonna be fine for this. And let's go in here. And normally I do this, I have another workstation that I do all my leather on, but I don't record my videos for leather work. But I kind of wanted to show you this one. So we're on my workstation for the beading. And I am gonna clip all these little hairs so we don't see that at the back of the bracelet. There. Just regular scissors for this. Cleans it up really nice. Okay, let's get these guys on. Remember to place it in the correct orientation. You have a finished side to your leather and an unfinished, which actually this looks pretty finished, but there you go. So make sure you put your anchor on the correct way. I laugh when I tell you that because I get so distracted sometimes. I'm like, I get the thing finished. I'm like, oh my gosh, I put it on backwards. Should have a bloopers reel for my video. So there's what we're gonna do, and let's get these straightened out a bit. Okay, so like that. I'm gonna get this guy just about there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply the glue to both sides, and then I'm gonna slide that bead over top of the two pieces. Take a drink of my tea. Have to stay hydrated. Funny, it tastes like sugar. I do keto, and I may just put some glue on here. Sorry, Ben. Normally I put it right on, but it gets a bit messy. Close your glue. You don't need a lot of glue, by the way. So do something like this. You'd think I was concentrating really hard. There's that one. And again, this is like a lot of glue for this. You probably don't even need that much glue. So let's go to the end over here. And you should let your glue cure a bit, like till it gets almost dry and then just tacky to the touch. But I think we're gonna do this. And I got some glue on my slider bead. But you can see it comes off really nicely from the slider bead. So I'm gonna take it out a bit. That one there. Just make sure they're straight. Like that. And get them. This part here is a bit tricky, so slide that in. And if you pull on these ones as you're pressing this down, it should go over. I didn't want to let that one in. So let's, if you have, I have those tools that you use for nail art. You can, it has like a round ball on the end. You can take it to help push this in. I'm just going to use one of these drafting tools that I have. You can see it's coming through. That one just doesn't want to come through. So let's work on this one here. And the reason I say use the nail tool is you don't necessarily want to poke holes in your leather like that. That looks like it's, oh, it still needs to come in quite a bit. Let's see what we can get in here. It's coming along. So it's a little bit of finagling here. And got my, I should have put this glue away. We will need it for the other side, but it's on my hands. And I don't want to get it like on the nice finished part. let me see if I can slide this one in a little bit more. It's almost there. There. Felt that one move. So you can see it's in there and it's not exposed too much on this side. So then I would let this cure overnight and it should stay in place. So I did pull it back quite a bit. I think we'll put this amount on the other side so that it's easier to, I don't know, so this is why I say let's get the mandrel and measure, because now we're kind of limited, because I think I did go a little further back on this one than I would normally. So I said his was a 7. So actually it's not too bad. It's about equal to this side. So let's do the bend here. So I just went past the anchor when I had it on the mandrel. And then, so now if you're not sure if your both pieces are the same length, because if we maybe added a little too much on this side, then make sure you match it up here, because if you have one longer than the other, you're going to get this happening. You want this to appear like it's actually one big thick piece of leather. So, and then just match it with the other side and you'll see it's come back here. So you can see one is longer than the other. So let's just hang on to that and use your clippers to match them up. Okay, that. And I'm going to pinch that a bit more to kind of mark the spot, because now we got to put the second slider on before we glue anything or fold it over. So get these two on like that. Then bring it down, put them side by side, make sure everything's flush, and fold it over. So if we fold it here, that's going to work exactly. Perfect. So let's move this down to about there. That's about there. So let's rough up this side. Just watch you don't scuff up your stainless steel slider. We'll leave that one because we'll just skive the end off. And you don't have to skive the end off. I just find it makes it a little easier. Let's see if I can get more light on there. A little easier to feed it through. So like this. And I'm really not taking much off. So. Yeah, these usually work a lot better. I'm like tempted to put my finger there, but don't do that. That's the Emma way of, my wife doesn't sharpen our knives in the house because I cut myself all the time. Let me get a little more off of this one. There. I'm gonna get my scissors to finish that off. It's kind of stuck on the end. Clean up these threads. Well, not threads, but fibers. There. That should work. Let's get our glue again. Get my little toothpick here. And, oh, wrong lid. We're almost done. Hang in there. I need to do this as a short and edit it. You know, I don't edit my videos, in case you're wondering. If you're new to my channel, I do not edit my videos, so you get what happens in the real world. So let's just move that around like that, and we'll put some on the end here, on this one. These both in there. Now we're going to fold them over to make sure, again, like I sound like a broken record, but it's important to make sure you continue to readjust so that they are flush with each other. Like, bring this one down here, this one down here, pinch those together, hang on, squeeze, and get this slider in there. And you know what? These sliders are pretty evenly matched, but you can see this one's going in a lot easier. So sometimes they are a little wider. Yeah, they both seem to be going in the same. Great. I just feel like we need a little bit more here. Come along. There. And I get my, and just make sure it's in there. You can see the one is kind of going on top of the other. That's fine. As long as it's gonna hold that in place. So that is it. You do like this. And there is your bracelet. So this, like I said, I put the sliders further back. You can put them a little closer. It does make it easier to get your anchor on and off. I think if your wrist is bigger, this is not so much of a big issue. But you know, you don't need to see both sliders at the front of your wrist. So let's try it on and see on my tiny wrist. So this is how I put mine on. I just put it on a surface like this. Let me just bring my anchor all the way and just maneuver one finger like that. And then the next one's usually pretty easy. I wouldn't recommend doing this after you've just put the glue. It might move things around, but that's what it looks like. It's amazing. I should have put it on the other way so you can see the anchor in the correct orientation. It's actually probably easier too to put on. So I'll just leave that for now. I don't want to mess up the glue too much, but there you go. Super easy, lovely, lovely bracelet. Will become your favorite bracelet. I know it has for me. And I'm out, like I'm steps away from the ocean. So it's definitely, this is a really popular type bracelet that you're going to see. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.